Howdy guys, and a happy Wednesday to all of you. Here we are with the 2022 Ford Mustang Mach-E GT. I like to call it the Mach-E Douceur. Yeah, anyway, Roman's gonna be here in just 1 minute, but what we wanted to do is talk to you about this vehicle, what's new about it, and our personal opinion about electric vehicles. Now, this one, there have been some changes for 2022, mainly up front. So this whole section is a little bit different, but I wanted to show you guys something. If you follow me down here, look at this. These actually open for cooling. So you would think that this big fake grill would do that, but no, it doesn't. Hey, there he is.
Hey, dude, how's it going?
It's going really good.
So we have a Mustang in the studio, huh?
Yeah, I was going to pop the frunk on it, which is the front trunk. By the way, something that Roman and I were working on earlier, turns out that the maximum charge rate on this is 150 kilowatts.
Okay.
Which is great if you find a place that can actually do that, but that's another story. So big changes in here. They used to have a divider in here to prevent people from actually going in here, folding them out. Because we could probably take Tommy, get a couple drinks in him, fold them up, put him in here. There is the release, right?
I think it would take a lot of iced teas, Nathan, to get Tommy in here.
Sorry, I knew that I would get you. Okay, I'm going to hit this now. I don't know if you can hear. I'm going to put my neck near this. Okay, ready? Listen.
I heard it. Sounds like
mouse being strangled.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was going to say. So the cool thing about this, of course, is there's a little drain, and then there are beverage holders. And I do mean beverage holders, Nathan, so that you can frunk gate.
I had a solution, like an inspiration.
Is that a thing?
An epiphany. Yes. So what you can do is take really hot boiling water, put it in here up to about here, sit here and sit over there, put your feet in here, have your drink there, and then when you're done, use the drain plug and get rid of all the water.
Well, they need a little like a stopper, right, to do that, because right now it's open. So you need and the check would be a spunt. You need a stopper to put in there to actually fill it up with hot water. But I like your idea. I love that. Yeah.
Well, in California, it's chewing gum, brah. So you just take some chewing gum, put it in there, and you totally stop it up. So anyway, the whole basis of this vehicle is simplicity, which is really interesting because Ford managed to kind of miss the mark on simplicity, with the exception of putting in cleaning fluid. You could just do that right there. It's easy.
You know, we just had the Mercedes-Benz EQS in here, right?
Yeah, and that didn't have a front trunk.
It didn't have a front. It had this really like over-engineered way of pouring windshield wiper fluid. I'm like, why not just give it a front? And then if you guys are checking out TFL EV, then you'll know that Tommy actually figured out how to open that. And so we opened it up, and there was like no pot of gold in there. It was no mystery. It was just this big like HEPA filter with a bunch of leaves in it.
Yeah, so he did something that is considered verboten, and most likely the Germans already have a satellite tasked on Tommy for doing that. So I don't think that's a great idea to do, but they actually tell you not to. But in this case, you can.
I'm just saying, why even get into that right to repair, conversation? It's your car. It's your, in this case, $120,000 that you would have spent on the EQS. If you want to open up the front, you should open up the front. That just seems.
I agree with you. Now this one has 4.7 cubic feet of cargo space, which is okay. Some vehicles have more. Some vehicles have less, like the Mercedes. But there's more.
What do you think of this Mustang over here?
Okay, I'm going to say it now and just get it over with, and you guys can debate me or whatever. I'm totally fine with calling this a Mach-E, but not a Mustang. Sorry.
There's been this like brand confusion recently, and it's happening throughout all the automakers, right? So this is a Mustang. And then, of course, it begs the question, what are you going to call the Mustang electric car when it comes in? Is it going to be the Mustang?
The two-door Mustang replacement electric, right?
The GTE? That doesn't work. I mean,
actually, it could. Some people don't remember GTE.
What are you going to call it?
The electric
How about the Porsche Taycan Turbo? There's no turbo in it. Why call it a turbo? Why take all that heritage that you've developed over the last 50 years and just, hey, you know what? We don't care. We'll just call it a turbo. How about the Blazer, Nathan?
Yeah, the Chevy Blazer. Yeah. I agree. And Ford Bronco.
All right, well, that one's real.
Yeah. But seriously, I get what you're going at. I don't have a problem with this being called a Fusion, because to me it looks like a Fusion, and I always thought the Fusion was really good looking. I guess my issue isn't so much the four-door or the crossover or any of that stuff. It's just the fact that you kind of have a vehicle that's always been around, that's been two doors and da-da-da-da-da, and then all of a sudden you're going with this. And I don't think they needed that type of identity. I did want to show you something else.
Yeah, let's show them this too, because this is kind of the way they fool your eye into thinking.
Yeah, go there, and then we'll talk about the wheels and stuff.
So here you've got two-tone, right? You've got the white, and then you've got the roof line, which is actually painted black. So what it does is it fools your eye into thinking that this is the, well, I'd say fastback, right?
Yeah.
Whereas really the roof line is up here. And I think that actually works really well. It does kind of make it seem like it's much more sporty, much more than just a typical another crossover, right? That happens to be electric in this case.
I would agree. If you look at the wheels.
All right, show them the wheels. I'm not in love with those wheels.
I'm not either. And they're 20-inch. Now, Roman and I have driven this car actually quite a bit. We did a lot of driving in a very short amount of time. And because it's a GT, so it's considered performance, you know, you have these Continental tires, and they're not very forgiving. The wheel and tire combination makes the suspension extremely hard, and regardless of what you try to do, it's very bumpy. Now, bear in mind, this is a sports car, right? I mean, we are talking about something that is built for sport. As such, it's extremely fast, and it has the same dimensions as a sports car when you go over things like snow. 5.7 inches of ground clearance, which to me isn't quite sufficient when you compare it to the competition.
So Ford says, you know, 0 to 60 in about 4 seconds. We had 3 people in it, and we got 4.7, which is very quick.
Oh, it's stupid fast.
Yeah. And then, of course, with Tesla having reinvented the door handle, of course, Ford has to get their own take on it. And I've got this funky little button that you push, and it kind of pushes
And it's
out.
got a little pull handle here that you pull.
Got the little, I think this is kind of fussy. And then no pull handle back there.
But it pops.
Yeah.
So, I'm not exactly 100% on this one way or the other. I really don't understand why it was difficult to not have a pull handle. I know you're going to say aerodynamics. Does it really make that much of a difference?
It does have the typical Ford keypad here, which is actually really nice if you want to go surfing or if you want to go, let's say, snowboarding or skiing, right?
They've had a keypad for years, since I was a kid.
You can leave all your stuff in the vehicle and then go and just, use a code. That's really cool.
Yeah, since like the early 80s or maybe even the late 70s. One thing I really do like, I don't know if you can catch this because it's white, but it really does have very good lines. I love the fender setup here, how it comes up and over. And I do like the rear end design too. Yeah, okay, it's Mustang-y, but they named it that. Trunk. There we go. Here's the proper trunk.
So 60-40 split, or maybe...
Yeah, 60-40.
Yeah, which is good. How many square feet of space do we have back there?
So behind the second row there is 29.7 cubic feet. And then if you drop the seats... Yeah. And then 59.7 cubic feet if you drop the seats, which isn't bad. It's a little bit less than, say, a Ford Escape. Right.
Yeah, so let's talk about the kind of interior.
Yeah.
Before we boot it up, I do really like this material. I think that's way cool.
This is cool. This is like a denim.
Yeah.
And it's similar to some of the stuff they've used in some other vehicles. I like the fact that they didn't use carbon fiber or fake carbon fiber here too. This is a nice little metal finish. I like this. Actually, you and I agree that the interior design, the look of it, is quite nice.
Yeah, there's nothing that feels cheap or plasticky in here where you kind of feel like you're not getting your... Did you talk about price yet? You said you did.
No, I haven't yet. I was going to do it a little bit later. Suede, by the way, feel over here. I think that's really nice. I like that feel.
And this is very typical. That's in a lot of Ford products right now.
Yeah, the Maverick has this. The Ford Escape has this. Basically, any front-wheel drive-based Ford product out there has this in there. And what's cool about that is that if you're used to driving those, you can come in here and drive this the same exact way.
All right, well, let's start it up, huh? What do you say? That would be the GT sound.
Yeah,
that's missing.
I know. Sorry. Yeah.
So let's talk about the infotainment. I'm not in love with it. I do love the traditional volume now, but like we just spent 2 hours in this car,
Yeah.
and it took us literally 10 minutes to find out where to hit the recirculate because we were following a truck that was unfortunately belching diesel, and it took me, like I say, 10 minutes to find out that you have to go there
in order to do it.
to do the recirc, which is up here, which is up there.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't just a button be much easier?
That's one of the things, and I know we're old men about this, but having a button is so much easier than having to go through 2 or 3 different screens in order to find stuff. And the same goes for moving around and finding out, what you need to do to get to just a radio. You still have to go to that screen to go to this screen. And then from this screen, if you wanted to go, let's say, Ford settings, and you wanted to go super, super fast, there you go, unbridled. It takes a second. I'd rather just flip a switch.
Well, and when the car's moving right now, it's easy to show, right? But when the
Right.
car's moving with this rough suspension, it's like, oh. The other thing that I think is like a little tricky, let me go back to the radio, right?
Yeah.
Is if you want to, let's say, go to like the news channels, right? It's not that easy. You got to go like that.
Yeah, there, and then it'll go up.
And then you got to like do that.
See how it's kind of a little, it's not smooth.
Yeah, or you got to do that, which you'll. I mean, tuning now would be so much easier. So you listen to BBC. Is there a way to directly tune that?
Yeah, there is. Okay, so if you want to direct, but this sucks when you're driving. The quickest way to do it, if you know the channel numbers, to go up here and hit it, and then boom, you're there. But unfortunately, if you're driving along, hitting the numbers is kind of a pain in the neck. So yeah, okay, yeah, you can have presets like I already did here.
I noticed you've got your favorite, like Ozzy's Boneyard.
Yeah, of course I do.
Yeah.
And the thing is that there's still a little bit of a delay sometimes, and everything here works. It's just a little slow. This is Sync 4, so I don't know. I anticipated a little bit more speed.
I wanted to, me and you have opposing taste in music, so I wanted to put chill in here. So I found chill, which is, let's see if I can remember this. So you said direct tune is, I already forgot how to direct tune it. See, now I'm going to do that. It's channel 53, right?
There you go. There's direct tune now.
Okay, so now I go direct tune. So chill is 53.
The fact that you remembered I said is there.
And then the problem for me is I wanted to like make it a favorite, so I was looking for the little heart, which is usually there.
No,
there's no heart.
You have to. What you do in order to make it a favorite, and what we'll do is we'll just override on Broadway, which for some. Or here you go. Hold it down.
Thank you, Nathan. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I just wanted to get rid of that for you. Actually, I wasn't able to do it because I accidentally hit it. See, that's the other thing. And now you have to go all the way back to it, right? So to go back to it, you have to go to there, and then you go to here, and you said it was...
do you remember when there was like a little button you would push and just hold?
Just hold it down. Yeah. There you go. Okay, here's your chill. I'm going to put it right down here.
Next to your lithium and your Billy Joel and Classic Rewind and Ozzy's Boneyard.
Ozzy's Boneyard is the only...
How did you put Kids Place?
I don't know what I did. Okay.
Right.
So this obviously shows that we are behind the curve. We get it. But at the same time, if it would be easier to use, it would be easier for everybody to use.
I completely agree and disagree. First of all, I don't think we're behind the curve. I think the automakers have just made it much harder. And yes, as you get older, technology becomes more of a challenge. But I think I'm pretty technologically advanced, and I find this just a royal pain in the butt.
I don't understand what I did wrong. Okay, I'm gonna try this again. Here's chill. It's there.
Okay. Hold to save, and you're saving Kids Bob.
I don't understand.
You've got worse. You got Kids Bob, dude.
We got to call Tommy and have him take us through this. That's the problem here. Okay, so obviously there are some issues, and I probably have the issues. You guys go ahead and write in and let us know all the things I've done wrong.
Hey,
but there's more.
Something.
Yes.
Let's say I want to save my seat position.
Mm-hmm.
All I do is push this button and hold it. See,
and there it is.
There it is. Was it so hard? Was the old way so hard?
I don't understand. So the other thing to keep in mind is that almost all the controls are basically here. That screen that's in front of Roman is not a touch screen, and but I like that screen a lot. This one not so much. That one I love. And you maybe Roman, you can explain the lines, like try to figure out what.
We've got two lines right there, and those are lane keep assist, right? So when the car sees the white lines, those turn green. And then if you veer over one, it turns red, and then it'll, of course, gently push the steering wheel to keep you within the lanes. Now, here we have 63% battery, 128 miles of range. Do we talk about the battery size? I believe it's almost 100 kilowatt hours.
90, right? Yeah, it's 98, over 98 kilowatt.
How much is usable?
91, I believe. I actually have my notes right here. Now, here's the important part is that the former, here we go, 99.8 kilowatt hours is the size of the battery, which is nearly 100. 91 kilowatt hours is available. Now, the prior Ford Mustang Mach-E had less available, so they upped it, and that way they're able to maintain a range of 270 miles. That's the maximum range, even though this has the all-wheel drive.
So even though 63% only gets you 128, given the
you and I both know how absolutely those things you cannot completely rely on.
Given the temperature, which is cold, given the way that the moon is in the sky, we're only at 128 miles of range with 63% of the battery. So if I were to extrapolate from that, that'd be like 160 miles of total range.
Right, but also it takes into account a lot of the things you've been doing.
So
yeah, but it takes into account the fact that we've already driven the vehicle, and we've driven it pretty harshly. And so those are all things to take into account, including the environmental conditions.
So let me show you something which I think is actually really cool. You see, you've got this heated seat, right? You can change.
Yeah.
Once again, easy to do when you're not.
When you're not moving, when you are moving, doing this.
But I think this A means automatic. So I think that just then I guess turns on the heated seat when it gets below a certain temperature. I'm guessing.
Which is also good for the car's efficiency, so it doesn't have to blow hot air in here, or as much hot air in here, because you have the seats warmed, which is what a lot of companies did, basically off of Nissan's recommendation. Now, the base price for these is 44, basically. This one is 64, basically. 63,000.
At that point, just get yourself a GT or one of the plethora of real Mustangs.
Yeah, while you still can, I would totally get. I wouldn't a GT 350. Yeah, I guess for around the same price. It's about, is that right? So I'd get the Mustang GT 350.
It's hard because there's so much uptick in prices now. It's hard to keep up with it all.
That's the other problem. Yeah. And I know some people will be like, gas. Well, guys, I mean, there's a big difference. You only have so long before you can get away.
So here's what I think. We're seeing this unprecedented, that word, of course.
Yeah.
Increase in used car prices and in new car prices.
Yes.
But I think part of the used car prices, people are realizing that they're limited in terms of the internal combustion engine. So
yeah,
with cars like this, it's putting pressure on the last of the gas-powered cars. And so I'm kind of in that boat. I'm like, hey, go get yourself that big old Mustang GT before there is a GTE.
Well, one of the viewers brought up plug-in hybrids. And I think that is something that a lot of people are not really thinking about as much as perhaps they should. A plug-in hybrid, granted, it's more sophisticated because you have a gas engine and an electric motor.
We have
a lot more.
We just got today the RAV4 Prime,
right,
which is probably the best of the plug-in
and the most expensive Toyota ever built. I mean, but it's really expensive. It's the most expensive RAV4 by far.
I mean, there is the Land Cruiser.
It's a really, really pricey thing, but it's also stupid fast. But it's kind of the best of both worlds.
Let's talk fast. 0 to 60 in like 4 seconds for the GT.
Under that, yeah, okay. That's according to them.
Yeah, and then how much horsepower?
So this puts out 400 horsepower, 480 horsepower.
Wow.
This version is 600 pound-feet of torque. However, if you get the performance version of this, it goes up to, I think, 630 pound-feet of torque.
634.
Jesus, 634. Sorry. The point is that very, very powerful, and this thing off the line is remarkably fast. I would say that in terms of overall driving characteristics, steering weight, everything else, one of the more enjoyable EVs I've driven. That is the big plus.
So the problem is, I would love to drag race against that RAV4 Prime because that's crazy quick as well.
This is faster.
I know, but people would be like, "Why are you drag racing?"
Who cares? We do it all the time anyway.
I know, but we get so much hate for that.
So what?
You want to do it?
Yeah.
All right, we'll do it.
We'll do
Which one do you want to be in?
This, because it'll win.
All right. Well, maybe if I keep you from, maybe we do a bet. Like you can be in whisper mode, but that will handicap you in the Mach-E in whisper mode, and I'll just put it in performance mode in the RAV4.
Blindfold me too, because that way we can see if the lane departure system works on our track.
No, you know what we're gonna do? This is Nathan is gonna love this part. We just got that Santa Cruz in.
Yeah.
We're gonna put you in the trunk, close the tonneau cover, and see if it's actually waterproof. Are you up for that?
Yeah.
Take it to a car wash.
You have a choice.
Squirt it down. Might be up. See how much water comes through there. See if it's waterproof.
What do you guys think? I think it's an interesting challenge. I mean, I'd much rather put in some of our new guys in there. We have plenty of new staff at TFL, but I'm okay with that. It goes back to the old days of putting Nathan in really uncomfortable places. So going back to this vehicle, though, this is sort of Ford's first big step into their EV future.
Yeah, with the Lightning following very closely on its heels.
Well, they're doing they basically have their company, but I know it's just by title.
They split it in half.
I know, and I know and a lot of people out there are like, oh, it's no big deal, or it's just for PR. Yes, but at the same time, they're relying on people out there to go, oh, okay, well, they're going to be doing more EVs, which they are. They put in billions into a new facility. They've got a separate facility just for the Lightning and for other, EV vehicles that'll be based on that platform. And that's all coming really soon.
Yeah, I'm just really getting, I'm kind of over the screens. I'm kind of over the crossovers. I'm actually getting kind of over electric trucks as well. I'm kind of looking forward to like a small electric off-roader. Wouldn't that be cool? Like the size of, let's say, a Samurai or a Renegade, right? Or maybe an electric convertible. There are all these, like, the manufacturers always talk to us like, hey, we want to find the white space, right? And then what do? Mid-size crossover.
But this is selling really, really well.
Well, everything's selling really well right now.
Well, but in terms of, even before the crunch and everything, this was doing really well. But I want to point out something.
Yes.
My point of view, that yellow thing over there, which people say is orange,
Yes.
that needs to be a plug-in hybrid.
The Bronco.
Yes.
Sure.
Plug-in hybrid
I've
version
never
of the
seen that.
Bronco
Yeah.
would be ideal.
Like the 4xe.
Why not?
Well, with Jeep building the 4xe, they're not going to be. Yeah, it's coming. It's
Ford, do it. And they're testing them right now. In fact, I'm almost positive we've seen them.
All right, Nathan. Before we wrap this up,
Yeah.
a couple more questions, Zach, and then we'll call this show cooked. Uh-oh, you lost the questions.
Well, there's a lot of discussion going on. Mark Coopers is asking, how does it handle as far as other EV crossovers are concerned? How does the steering feel? What are the general dynamics of the case?
So,
Yeah.
You go first.
Okay. Steering feel non-existent like all other EVs,
Yep.
but
Completely agree.
it's good video game feel in terms of weight.
It's electric.
Yeah, it's electric. So the weight of the steering is quite good. I think better than the Volkswagen. The Volkswagen is really vague for me. Much better than the ID4.
There are only 2 EVs that are fun to drive right now.
Yes. Yeah, the Mini.
Yeah, Mini SE is one of them. A hoot to drive. That's what a Mini should be. And there's one more EV, pure EV that's fun to drive.
Porsche Taycan.
Exactly right. You got
You
yes.
beat me to it. And I love the Porsche, but it's very
The
different.
rest are video game.
No, but
And that includes the Model 3 performance, the Model Y performance.
Yeah.
And we've driven the Plaid. So,
Yes, we've driven all those. But I like the way this thing felt running around a corner at high speed. It gripped, and then it was kind of just trying.
You got this weird dynamic, right, where you've got a lot of center of gravity that's really low because of the batteries, but then you got all this weight pushing the car, through the turn instead of around the turn.
Well, this thing does weigh 5,000 pounds.
Yeah, so you've got 2 kind of competing dynamics. So one is great because it's like, oh, the weight is low, but then the weight is there when you go around the turn.
Yeah, but it still grips and it goes. This thing will go around a corner way faster than the equivalent. Well, yeah, okay. Now that is an old man answer, and you know it. So
no, it's not. It's rough.
No, it is rough, but I say that this is a lot of fun to drive. It's engaging to drive in that respect. And it's not a big V8, sorry guys, but it does feel pretty good to drive fast.
The other thing, once again, maybe I'm through the looking glass here, Nathan, but I like the progressive nature of internal combustion engines where the power kind of builds. With these guys, it's just like snaps your neck back and you're like, right?
Actually, this one's a little bit less snappy than, say, some of the other ones. And then if you drive the Volkswagen is just like, okay. Yeah, the Volkswagen is not neck snappy by comparison.
Yeah,
I will say that.
It's like, it's very jarring and very almost.
Well, this one is because it's a sports car. This is a sports car. That's the thing. Even though they call it a crossover,
but there was
a
little bit of warning. Even let's say you've got some like a McLaren, right? Which is a very fast car, 0-60 in 3 seconds, a 720S, right?
Yeah.
Even there's a little bit of progressive warning, even if it's just from the fact that this tires are spinning so fast before it gets grip.
You can defeat the traction control in this.
Jack, another question before we wrap this up.
One more. Yeah, there it is. Sorry, Old Timer donated $2.
Thank you, Old Timer. Hey, he's been with us the whole time.
Thank
really
you.
Appreciate it.
Talking about the neck snapping performance and all the rest of it, would you take this over a Tesla Model Y performance specifically?
The only reason I take the Tesla is because it's got a lot more usable space. It does.
It does, yeah.
It's much more comfortable in that respect. Their ride is really close. They're both not great.
It's a little bit taller.
It's taller, and also has a much better ground clearance.
And it's much more open, right?
Yeah.
Much more airy. This thing is very claustrophobic.
That's the one reason I take
it. No sunroof, right? The Tesla, of course, has that, complete.
Yeah, this doesn't have that, despite the fact that it's $64,000. So I would take the Tesla, but that's only based on that. In terms of just returning fun for the dollar, this thing is a lot of fun to drive.
Yeah, it is a hoot. I'm not gonna argue that. All right, guys. Well, thank you for joining us for this live show. We really appreciate the fact that you come and spend some time with us. We are very busy right now filming actually 3 video series at one time.
All at once.
So we've been really struggling to get our daily videos up. So we're doing Taming Tumbleweed Ranch, which is over at TFL Off-Road. And that started airing last Sunday. So if you want to see us building out the ranch every Sunday at TFL
Off-Road course, baby.
Yeah, Off-Road course. We started building that this week. David's working on it right now. Then me and you are going to, and Andre and Tommy are finishing up Go Big, our next truck series, where we got some really big ass crossovers and turning them into
not crossovers, SUVs.
Turning into budget overlanders, exactly right.
Yes.
So that one's almost done filming. We just started filming on taking our old F100 and electrifying it. So that's another series that's coming.
That's in Arizona, right? That one is.
That's in Arizona. We're buddied with some other companies, partnered to actually do that because we don't have the expertise.
Right.
So if you want to stay up to date on all that, just go to TFL Studios where all of our videos are at. Right now it looks a little bit kindergarten that site has just got pictures and some headlines, but we're working on that as well. So a lot going on.
It's not like we're not busy. Guys, thank you for joining us. Have a great week.